Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Agam Sharma, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department, Chandigarh Polytechnic College. So today we'll be discussing about our second chapter of construction material, that is building bricks and tiles. So in this chapter, we'll broadly discuss about what are bricks, what are their classification, how they are manufactured, and what are the tests which need to be done before using those bricks in our construction. So let's just start with our first introduction. First of all, bricks. Bricks are basically a rectangular object or material which is used for in our walls, pavements, floors, etc. in our construction field. So earlier, the bricks are only made up of clay, but nowadays they are more material which comes into the field and makes the bricks. So basically, any rectangular shape, size object which is used in our masonry walls is we call it as a brick, and they are laid in a mortar. Mortar is basically a composition of cement and sand. So whenever cement and sand are mixed together, they make a cementing paste and are used to join two or more bricks together. So bricks, we have these sizes of bricks where there are conventional, traditional, and standard sizes of bricks. So as per the traditional or conventional size of bricks in our India, so these bricks are denoted into various sizes. The most used sizes is 22.5 centimeter, that is the length of a brick. Then width of brick is 10.5 centimeter, and height, that is 7.5 centimeter. So these sizes may vary, and there is certain permissible limit which can vary in them. So then there is standard and modular size of bricks, that is 19 centimeter length, 9 centimeter width, and 9 centimeter height. So as you can see in the diagram, there are three faces of a brick. The first is stretcher, that is the length of a brick. So it contains 22.5 centimeter length, or as in the standard size, it should be a 19 centimeter. Then we have is width of a brick, that we call it as a header part. The size of this header part is 10.5 centimeter or may vary from 11 centimeter also. Then standard size of brick, it have 9 centimeter header. Coming to the height of brick, that is 7.5 centimeter, or in the standard size of brick, it may vary from 9 centimeter. So the next part of a brick we have is frog part, where you will see a depression made on the front face or a top of a brick that is used for gripping or imprinting the industry name. As you can see in our normal bricks, there is a certain name which is indicating the brand of a brick or the brand of a kiln. So that is a frog used for. So then the first requirement of brick, it should fulfill its size and its shape. Secondly, it should be compressive strength. So whenever we have to use a brick, we have to concern that brick should be safe for bearing the load of a structure. So in this slide, I have mentioned certain classification according to their compressive strength. So the common building bricks strength, it should be 35 kg per centimeter square. So a normal brick which we used, the minimum compressive strength of those bricks should be 35 kg per centimeter cube square. Then second class brick, it should contain 70 kg per centimeter square strength. So we will discuss further what are and how they are classified in various classification of class, like first class, second, third, and fourth. So we'll discuss further. So initially there is compressive strength of a bricks. The first class brick, that is the most prior and most important classification, is the first class brick, and the strength should be 105 kg per centimeter square. So moving further, there is certain material which need to be used for manufacturing these bricks. So those materials are clay. So clay contain many type of minerals present in it, but mainly which material which we used for manufacturing a brick, it should be clay. So clay contain many type of minerals, but the most property which a clay should contain should be its plasticity. So clay, as we know, it can be molded into any size and shape. So the type of clay which we have to use, there is certain uh, properties and recommendation for this type of clay. So the first property which it should have is its plasticity property, and it permits them to shape and mold it. Means whenever you use a clay, it should be molded in, it can be molded whenever wetted with the water, it can be molded into any size and shape, and the shape should be, the shape which it gets should be formed. Means the shape which we have given to the brick or given to the clay should be uniform and should not deform afterwards whenever it dries. Third property, when subjected to appropriate temperature, so whenever the clay is heated, so those particles, those clay particles must fuse together to make a brick or to make a bond. So that means whenever those clay bricks or dry bricks or raw bricks are burnt, so the burnt bricks should be fused together so that it does not deform its shape. So this is a basic property which a clay should have. So it can be obtained normally and naturally from any suitable site. So moving to the first manufacturing procedure of a manufacturing of bricks. First is preparation of clay. The clay which we used has to be prepared before which we before it is molded into particular shape and size. The first preparation part it contains is unsoiling. Unsoiling means we remove the 20 centimeter layer of a normal surface level or natural surface level. We remove that 20 centimeter layer which contains normally vegetations, organic matters, or impurities, or any type of like garbage or anything, like pebbles, stones, anything. We have to remove that 20 centimeter layer from the surface. Afterwards, we have to dig that surface by a machinery or by hand tools, or like any machinery like excavator are used for digging that soil, and it is exposed to the weather. The third part is exposing that excavated soil into weather. Means the soil which we get from that digging part is currently in a disturbed sample, but it is not that loosely particles. So we have to lose that particle by placing it into a natural surface, natural atmosphere or natural environment, so that that soil gets softened and habitual with the environment. Then is blending part. Blending means adding that permissible amount of water into the clay so that it can be molded into a particular size and shape. After the blending part, tempering has to be done. Tempering means kneading that soil by hand, feet, or by any machines. So, or mixing that water into the clay so that so that we can get a uniform mixture in it. So जब भी आप किसी soil को, किसी clay को आप mix कर रहे हो water के साथ brick बनाने के लिए, so it has to be uniformly mixed together so that कहीं पे भी आपका dry cut and clay का ना रहे, so which is ultimately makes a lump. So we have to remove those lump by pressing our feet on them. That is the kneading part. जैसे आप आटा गूंदते हो, that is the kneading of wheat flour. So that same way we have to knead the earth by feet or by help of any animals or by kettles or by machines. The machine which we use to knead those or temper those clay are known as a pug mills. So pug mills is basically a type of container which contains a like mixture. जैसे आपका एक mixture होता है. So that same way your pug mill works. So we put those clay and water into it and it gets rotated. So that makes a uniform mixture of clay and water. So means इसकी plasticity जो रहेगी आपकी clay की वो uniform रहेगी. Next we have is molding part. So whenever your clay content is done, आपकी जो clay है वो uniform mixture उसमें water के uniform आपने add on कर दिया, उसके बाद it has to be molded into particular type of a brick. ठीक है. So आपके two processes रहेंगी molding की. The first process which we use is table molding or we call it as a hand machine molding. तो machine molding में machines various machines are used for molding those bricks. तो आप उसको normally वायर कटिंग से जो उसकी साइज एंड शेप को प्रॉपर्ली एक यूनिफॉर्म कट दे रहे हैं, और इट कैन बी डन बाय हैंड मोल्डिंग, जो आपकी नॉर्मली विलेजेस और हमारे पंजाब रीजन में मोस्टली अवेलेबल रहता है, दैट इज हैंड मोल्ड। जो आपके भट्टे जो होते हैं वहां पे यू कैन इजिली सी द लेबर आर मोल्डिंग दोस ब्रिक्स इनटू अ रेक्टेंगुलर पार्ट्स। तो उनके पास एक मोल्ड रहेगा, दैट इज अ होलो मोल्ड, इट कुड बी आइदर ऑफ अ स्टील और वुडन मोल्ड विच इज ऑफ प्रॉपर शेप एंड साइज। जो आपका ब्रिक का साइज आपको बनाना है उसी शेप में वो रहेगा, एंड देयर विल डिप्रेशन ऑफ दैट फ्रोग, और उसका जो फ्रॉग रहेगा उसके ऊपर एक डिप्रेशन बना रहेगा, दैट इज द इंडस्ट्री नेम, और भट्टे का जो भी नेम होगा उसका नेम उस पे इम्प्रिंट होता रहेगा। So the brick is laid on the ground surface and the mold lid is placed on one over the another, so that the bricks are cutted on into a particular shape and size. Secondly, आपकी जो table molding है, it is reversely, it is totally different than a hand molding. Table molding and machine molding is done by a wire cutting only, so that इसमें एक advantage रहता है, आपकी जो size and shape रहता है वो brick का, that is properly sharp edges. तो अपने जो फर्स्ट क्लास ब्रिक रहती है, दैट इज अ टेबल मोल्डेड और मशीन मोल्डेड, इट इज ऑफ टोटली लाइक आपके जो एजेस रहेंगे ब्रिक से, दैट विल बी टोटली शार्प एंड कटेड डाउन। थर्ड प्रोसेस which we use is drying process. After the bricks are molded together, आपने as you can see in the diagram, so these bricks are molded, इनको आपने mold कर दिए, properly shape and size दे दिए, उसके बाद they are placed in a room or in an open area for get that extra moisture which it contain to get it evaporated. तो अपने जो अभी आपने जो क्ले बनाई थी, you have added 15% of water in it, आपने 50% उसमें water add किया था उसको यूनिफॉर्म मिक्सर बनाने के लिए। Afterwards that brick shape is done, उसके बाद शेपिंग के बाद, दैट मोल्डिंग के बाद यू हैव टू ड्राई दोस ब्रिक्स, ताकि उसमें जो एक्सेस वाटर रहे, सो इट शुड इवेपोरेट अर्लियर। इससे आपका एडवांटेज क्या रहेगा, सो दैट ब्रिक्स विल बी नॉट रैप्ड, मींस उसमें उनकी शेप में कोई डिफॉर्मेशन नहीं आएगी व्हेनेवर दे विल बी कमिंग इनटू द कांटेक्ट ऑफ अ फायर, एंड सेकेंडली देयर विल बी लेस कंजम्पशन ऑफ फ्यूल। तो जितना आपका अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर ज्यादा रहेगा उतना ही आपका फ्यूल ज्यादा कंज्यूम होगा उनको बर्न करने में। So before that we have to dry those brick, ताकि उनका एक्स्ट्रा जो मॉइस्चर है वो रिमूव हो जाए। So इसके लिए आपकी दो प्रोसेसेस यूज होती हैं, we use two type of processes for drying those bricks. तो फर्स्ट प्रोसेस आपकी जो है नेचुरल ड्राइंग। नेचुरल ड्राइंग आपकी नॉर्मल एरियाज में रहती है, आपने आप किसी भी नॉर्मल पंजाब रीजन में किसी भी भट्टे पे चले जाओ, you will see those normal bricks are laid over the surface of those natural surface, so that for the drying part। तो उनको ड्राई करने के अब नॉर्मल सरफेस पे वी लेफ्ट इट ओवर फॉर अ फ्यू डेज और अ फ्यू वीक्स, जब भी आपका नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर रहता है और हीटी टेम्परेचर सनी वेदर रहता है, सो वी लेफ्ट इट ओवर फॉर अ ड्राइंग। Second process we have is artificial drying. It is done in an industry and by help of a like आपके जो blowers होते हैं, hot air blow करेंगे and it will remove those moisture from the bricks. So there is a certain disadvantage and advantage in both cases. So first disadvantage of natural we have is its uncontrollability. So nature is not in our control, as we all know. So whenever there is a rainy season, it is difficult to dry those bricks. तो आपकी वो bricks रहेंगे, it will be not dried, or if there is the weather is not sunny, so the bricks will not dry. So it will take more time to dry, and it is uncontrolled. It cannot be controlled. You cannot achieve a certain degree of dryness or certain degree of moisture into a brick by a natural drying. आप natural drying से किसी certain degree तक achieve नहीं कर सकते हो, because it is not in your hand. Whereas in our artificial drying, it can be achieved. So hot air के temperature you can control, and you can control how much time you have to give for drying part. So the temperature is controlled there. And the one disadvantage which artificial है, it contains energy, it contains fuel. आपको electricity power चाहिए होगी और fuel consumption चाहिए होगा उस hot air को blow करने के लिए, dry process के लिए. Whereas the advantage of the artificial is it can be done easily and rapidly. आपको जब large amount में if you have to achieve large amount of bricks into a shorter span of time, you can achieve a high amount of drying bricks via artificial drying. Artificial drying is the most suitable method and quick method. Then fourth process we have is burning. After drying is done of bricks, सो जब भी आपकी ब्रिक्स ड्राई हो चुकी है, उसमें डिजायर्ड टेम्परेचर, डिजायर्ड मॉइस्चर वो रिमूव हो चुका है, या एक्सेस मॉइस्चर है दैट इज रिमूव फ्रॉम दोज ब्रिक्स. So next process is to move make it contact into the with the fire. So then those dried bricks are burnt together into a kilns or a clamps. So there is basically two type of burning which has to be which can be achieved. The first is clamp burning, second is kiln burning. Clamp burning is basically done earlier times whenever there is no kiln process is done. Clamp burning is a temporary process, and the quality of bricks which we get from this clamp burning is not recommended for our first class brick or important structures, because clamp burning में क्या रहता है आपका, it is not totally uncontrolled. आप इसमें fire control नहीं कर सकते हो, because whenever it is a temporary structure और temporary mud structure आपको construct करना पड़ता है. So when temporary structure is done, उसके बाद it has to be burnt together with the help of a fuel. जो भी आपके पास natural आपके पास fuel available है, either it is a cow dung or any wooden part which is available, आप उसकी help उसमें clamp burning कर देते हो. So whereas in a kiln burning is a totally controlled temperature पे रहता है, and the burning of bricks are totally uniform. इसमें uniform burning possible है, whereas clamp burning में it is not possible. So dry bricks was compiled in a kiln in firing process with 600 degrees centigrade temperature. So initial temperature which is given in a kiln is 600 degrees centigrade. उसके बाद whenever this temperature achieve, the temperature is then gets risen to a 900 degrees centigrade for further achieving those colors. So as we know, the color of brick is a reddish color. So this reddish color has to be achieved only whenever this 900 degrees centigrade temperatures can be achieved uniformly in every brick. Whereas this temperature cannot be achieved in a clamp burning because it is totally uncontrolled, or sometimes your bricks might overburnt, or sometimes your brick might underburnt. तो आपकी जो नीचे जो फायर के कंटेक्ट में ब्रिक्स हैं वो ओवरबर्न हो सकती हैं, एंड जो टॉप पे आपका जो ब्रिक्स का स्टैक रहेगा इट माइट गेट अंडरबर्न, और वो अच्छे से बर्न नहीं होंगी. मींस यूनिफॉर्म उनकी बर्निंग पॉसिबल नहीं हो सकती है समटाइम्स इन अ क्लैम्प बर्निंग. It is a very important process, so it has to be done like proper sequence wise. So then moving further, we have is burning of brick is done in a clamp burning. So this is a image of a clamp which we used earlier. So these bricks which we raw bricks are placed on the top of it, and from below there are few holes में you put that wooden like जो भी आप fuel insert कर रहे हो, either it is a wood or cow dung or any type of fuel which we use to place it downside, and the fire is placed. So secondly we have is kiln burning. Kiln में आपकी various type of kilns आती हैं. So this is a image of a Hoffman kiln. So इसमें you can see there is a number of chamber which are available in this type of kiln, and the top section is a circular section. तो इसमें आपके number of section बने होंगे, and there is circular plan. It is mostly above the ground level, और आपका ये ground level से upward बना होता है. So the processes of drying, burning, cooling of bricks, it can be done simultaneously in a Hoffman kiln. Whereas in a clamp burning, आपकी जो ये प्रोसेस रहती है, why we call it as a clamp burning, and it is not a continuous burning. So continuous burning आपकी possible है only Hoffman and Bull-Strange kiln में. This is not a continuous burning because इसमें when ये आपका एक temporary structure भी रहेगा. So जब भी आपने first stack of, suppose you have to burn 10,000 bricks one time, तो आपकी 10,000 bricks यहाँ पे एक बार stack हो जाएंगी. So it has to be mud plaster इसके ऊपर आपको करना पड़ेगा. So that mud plaster has to be placed on the top of those bricks. उसके बाद fire is done. So whenever you know that firing is done, the burning process is completed, you have to wait there to get this clamp to be cooled down. उसके बाद you have to break this surface down. इसके बाद ये सारा clamp आपको you have to destroy this whole surface to get those bricks. Whereas in the case of a Hoffman kiln or a continuous kiln, it is not done. It is a totally permanent structure, and it can be achieved by a normal trolley system के help से you can put your bricks in and get your bricks out from a trolley method. So burning of bricks में, like I said, there is two types, that is a kiln type and clamp burning. Clamp burning I have already mentioned. So in the kiln burning, the kiln are used for burning bricks. It could be underground, like I said, in the Bull-Strange kiln, it is underground done, but in the Hoffman kiln, like in the diagram, it is a totally over the ground. So these may be rectangular, circular, or oval in shape. So Hoffman kiln, as I said, it is a totally circular in shape. But आपकी जो Booth trench है, it is a oval in a shape and rectangular could be rectangular in a shape. So when the process of burning brick is continuous, the kiln is known as continuous kiln. So like आपकी जब भी आपको Hoffman kiln और Booth trench kiln use कर रहे हो, so that will be a continuous burning. उसको continuous kiln और continuous burning बोलोगे. So on the other hand, if the process of burning is not continuous, means आपको उसमें continuous gap डालना पड़ रहा है, that is a totally discontinuous, we call it as a kiln, as a intermittent kiln. Means जो आपके normally हमारे पंजाब में जो भट्टे जो आपके होते हैं, so those are intermittent kiln. Means उसमें आपको one time ही number of bricks को burn कर सकते हो. उसके बाद you have to wait there to get that kiln to be cooled down. उसके बाद जब वो cool down हो जाएगी, you can like remove those, get your bricks over from the kiln. So the example of this type of overground rectangular kilns are intermittent kilns. Okay, like I said, it can be one time of brick burning is done in those intermittent kilns. So you have to wait there to get those kiln cool down and then reload it again afterwards. तो उसमें आपके जब भी इसमें एक disadvantage intermittent kiln में क्या रहेगा? Because you have to wait there to get those burning chamber to be cooled down. तो cool down होने की वजह से you have to wait there. और जब भी उसको next time you have to fuel it down, जब भी आपको next time burning process करनी है, so the temperature has to again achieve from 0 degree or normal temperature 27 or 30 degree temperature से again rise होना start होगा. So that will take a long time to achieve that 900 degree centigrade. Whereas in a kiln burning, the normal moderate temperature is achieved earlier और achieved continuously. आपको simple bricks को pull out करना है by the trolley measurement से. आपका जो normal kiln के बीच का जो temperature रहेगा, chamber के बीच का जो temperature रहेगा, that is normally achieved same wise. So then afterwards, so whenever this manufacturing is done, so we have to classify our bricks. So according to these manufacturing processes, either it is a hand molded, table molded, or burning process, or according to their drying process, or type of clay which we have used, the number of the classification of bricks are done. So first class brick are totally machine molded and kiln molded bricks, and high variety of type of clays used in it. So as you can see the image in it, the color is totally uniform color, which is, and the size and shape is properly done. Edges are properly sharp edges, and the frog is properly shaped. So this is an image of a first class brick. So it represents as from the color only, or from the size only, or from the shape only, you can describe that it is a first class brick. The strength will automatically will improve because there is a evenly burning part, and you will not see any type of crack or flaws in a first class brick. So this type of brick is mostly used whenever there is an important type of structure has to be constructed, or in a mostly government building, whereas the no plaster has to be done on a wall surface. जहां पे आपको प्लास्टर नहीं करना पड़ता है, वहां पे आप फर्स्ट क्लास ब्रिक को यूज कर सकते हो. Secondly, we have a second class brick, which you can see in the diagram. It is totally distorted type, and certain flaws and lumps, holes are there. और आपकी properly जो shape है, that is not properly shaped, उसमें कुछ irregularities आपको you will see, जो आपकी normal हमारे घरों में buildings में use होती हैं. Those are second class bricks because they are hand molded. आपकी हैंड मोल्डेड रहती है और ये इंटरमीडिएट किलन में बर्न होती हैं. देखो, और इनकी कलर में भी आपको डिफरेंशिएट मिलना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. सो देयर विल बी सर्टेन अनइवन इन अ कलर ऑफ अ ब्रिक. कहीं पे आपको ज्यादा रेडिश मिलेगा, कहीं पे आपको लाइट येलोइश कलर मिलेगा. सो दैट इज अ एग्जांपल ऑफ अ सेकंड क्लास ब्रिक. और इसकी क्वालिटी रहेगी बिकॉज इट हैज टू बी प्लास्टर विद अ सीमेंट मोटार. सीमेंट मोटार आपका जो रहेगा उससे आपको प्लास्टर करना पड़ता है बिकॉज द shape and size is not properly done in a second class brick. Then we have this third class brick. As in the diagram you will see, there is a totally yellowish in color. So third class brick are not we don't use it in our construction. They are only used in our temporary shed जहाँ पे आपको construction site पे बनाने पड़ते हैं. So वहीं पे हम third class brick को use करते हैं. Otherwise there is no such use of these third class brick. So these are not intentionally made. These are constructed like whenever there is overburnt, whenever these are underburnt. So whenever your bricks are underburnt, they will not give a proper color to you. Or whenever the clay content, the clay composition is not uniform, so it will not give a proper color. So there are certain composition like iron oxide hai, which gives a reddish color to our bricks. So whenever it is not present in our clay part, so आपका जो color आएगा bricks का, it will not be reddish color. So it will give you a yellowish color, जहाँ पर आपका magnesia higher amount में establish होगा. So these type of bricks are not used in our construction. We use it only for temporary structures like temporary sheds या कोई store आपको temporary बनाना है, वहीं पे हम इनको third class brick को use कर सकते हो because their strength is weaker and are as compared to every type of classification. Then we move to the fourth class brick. These are overburnt brick, or we call it as a jama bricks. So these type of bricks are basically overburnt but are good in strength. But the main disadvantage of these class bricks are they are totally deformed. Because of the overburning of these bricks, इनकी जो deformation हो जाती है shape की, the size of that molded rectangular which we have done in a clay or molding part is totally deformed. आपने देखा होगा हमारे घरों में कई बार आ जाती है in a normal stack में, कहीं भी आपको दिख जाएगी, तो उनका जो color रहेगा वो आपका bluish color रहता है. So whenever the main property is it cannot be break easily. So that's why it is playing a major role in our construction. So we use it in our pavement. जहाँ पे आप pavement आपको concrete floor बनानी है अपनी, जब आप हमारी घरों earlierly we have to use our concrete flooring. So उनके नीचे हमको brick beds डालने पड़ते थे. So brick beds were used as in our foundation, in our pavement. So we use fourth class brick because their strength is good, but it cannot be used in our masonry construction because their joints will not be uniform. इनके joints properly नहीं बनेंगे because the size and shape is not properly done in these fourth class bricks. So that's why we use it in our foundation where there is no need of our size and shape. So moving further, so then after classification is done, then these are also achieved by our testing. So you can differentiate classification of brick by testing of those bricks. So there are certain tests like certain field tests or there are certain laboratory tests. So dimension test is basically a field test or laboratory test. You can do it wherever you want to. आप कहीं पे आपके site पे कहीं पे आप जहाँ पे work कर रहे हो, job कर रहे हो, or you will see at your home construction में जब भी आपके पास normal bricks आ रही हैं, you can measure the dimension of those bricks. It should be traditional. अगर brick आपने order की है आई है तो the side should be 230, 115 or 75 mm. So अगर standard है, so the size will be 119 to 90 to 90 mm. So it will be regularly rectangular in shape and size. So then is compressive strength. This test is a laboratory test and only can be done in the lab by compression testing machine. So compression testing machine में according to BIS 1077 1957 ये आपका bricks का strength का code है. So according to that the minimum crushing strength compressive strength जो किसी brick की होनी चाहिए that should be 3.5 Newton per mm square. So इसके below अगर कोई brick की use होती है brick आपकी strength आती है so that cannot be used in our construction part. So mean जहाँ पे भी आपको brick को use करना है site पे उसका strength test आपको पहले करना पड़ेगा laboratory में. Means आपके पास अगर कोई भी like 1000 or 4000 or 5000 brick का stack आया, so you can get randomly 5 bricks you can get from it and test those bricks और उनका average आपका compressive strength test आपको बता देगा. Then is water absorption test. It can be done in a laboratory or on the site, but mostly it is done in the laboratory. So randomly आपको 4 or 5 bricks like in the compressive strength test में आप लेते हो, वैसे ही randomly आपने water absorption test में भी करना है. Randomly 4 to 5 bricks आपने stack में से लिया, so you weight it down. आपने उसको like ovenly dry किया पहले, ovenly dry करने के बाद उसका weight किया. The average weight of a brick should be 3.5 kg. So जितना भी उसका weight आता है randomly bricks का you have noted down. उसके बाद उसको 24 hours तक you have to immerse it down in a water bath. उसको पानी में normal temperature पे 27 to 30 degree temperature पे you have to immerse it down for 24 hours. 24 घंटे तक उसको immerse करके रखना है. उसके बाद after 24 hours you have to weight it again. उसको again weight करना. So the difference between those weight should not be more than 20% for a first class brick. So there is certain classification. Whenever you do the test, you will get to know about it. For the first class brick, the water absorption limit should not more than 20%. And for the second class, it should not more than 22%. And for the third class, it should not more than 25%. So these are the classification of bricks according to the water absorption test. तो अगर आपकी bricks को 25% और 20% से more water absorb करनी है, so that means the bricks are totally porous और उनमें water absorb होता रहेगा. So we are not like recommended to use those bricks in our construction site. because आपका जो वाटर आपकी जो सीमेंट मोटार में आपने यूज किया है, so that will be absorbed by the bricks only, और आपको जो सीमेंट मोटार का बॉन्ड है वो एक्यूरेटली नहीं बनेगा and your wall will destroyed. Then efflorescence test. This is also done similarly to the water absorption test. So आपने देखा होगा there is certain white color का powder form. It gets generated on a our wall, in our cement also, and in our bricks also sometimes. So that alkaline substance which is present in our case, so it should not be present. So it represents there is a higher amount of lime present in it. So to check this efflorescence test, we have to again immerse it for 24 hours. For now it has to be dried again in the sun. So after when it is dried, it is checked again, so there is no salt present in on a surface of a brick. So that is a fluorescence test. So then we have a soundness test. So this is a field test. It can be done on a site also. So we have to take two bricks together and stuck it down together. So we have to see there should be metallic sound, metallic ringing sound should become. So whenever these two bricks are stuck together, agar koi dull sound aati hai, so whenever there is a dull sound on those bricks, so it means it is not good for use, and your brick is like contains certain cracks or flaws. So the soundness should be a metallic ringing sound. So then is hardness test. So hardness test is done like on the site also. So it is done by a simple method. You take a brick and groove your nail on it. आप उसको आपका अपने fingernail से you have to grave scratch on it. So whenever you scratch on it, there should not be any impression on brick. There should not be any white impression on those bricks whenever you scratch your finger on a brick. So that represents a hardness test. So then we have is impact test. Impact is done also on a site. So you have to take a brick and free drop it from height of a 1 meter. 1 meter की height से whenever you have to drop it down, it should not break. और जब भी वो ब्रेक हो जाती है तो that means उसकी जो impact strength है वो good नहीं है. So you cannot use those bricks on your site or in a construction. So after the building tiles and they are tested, and we have is building, after the bricks manufacturing process and their testing, we have is building tiles. So building tiles are basically similar to building bricks, but the sizes and shape are slightly different than them. So the height is slightly lesser or a half than as compared to our building tiles, building bricks. So there are various type of bricks which we use in our building as represents in our presentation. It is floor tiles, wall tiles, drain tiles, and roofing tiles. So these are the basic classification of our tiles in our which we use in our construction. So as we all know, this is mostly हर टाइप की टाइल्स आपके मोस्टली घरों में लगी होती है. सो फर्स्ट टाइप इज फ्लोर टाइल्स. जो आपकी फ्लोर पे आपकी टाइल्स लगती हैं, वी कॉल इट एज अ फ्लोरिंग टाइल्स. जब मीन्स आपके जो पेमेंट जो आपकी जो घरों के जो आपके फ्लोर्स हैं उन पे हम मोस्टली जो टाइल्स लगाते हैं, like you can see this diagram. So these are your floor tiles. It is इनमें जो floor tile and wall tile में जो major difference रहता है, that is it's firstly इनका जो back end surface है, that is grooveness. उनकी जो wall tiles की जो groove होती है, that is a slightly bigger than floor tiles, because wall tiles को थोड़ा adhesion करना ज़्यादा difficult है as compared to floor tiles. It will be laid only, but wall tile has to be a perpendicular than a normal surface. So it has to be like properly manufactured first of all, and it should the amount of cement paste which we use, it is more in a case of a wall tiles. There is one more difference in a wall tiles also. So wall tile को हम थोड़ी glossy appearance, a shiny appearance we can give it to them rather than a floor tiles, because floor tiles को अगर आप glossy and shiny appearance दोगे, so it will be a slippery in nature. So we use it matte finish floor tile mostly on in our floors, and glossy or shiny type of tiles in our wall. So then third and fourth type of our drain tiles. Drain tile mostly used in our drains areas, and the main property which it should contain should be its porosity. Mean it should not be porous enough to like absorb the water. इनको water absorb करने की permissibility नहीं होनी चाहिए, so that the water gets like totally on the surface on it, so it is not absorbed by the tiles only. So then we have is roofing tiles. Roofing tiles, you can see it also should be impermeable, and the water should not be passed from them. So these tiles are mostly used in our roofing tiles. in our roofs, mostly in the slant areas, जहाँ पे आपके hilly areas है और जहाँ पे आपके ज़्यादा snow होती है, वहाँ पे हम mostly roofing tiles को use करते हैं, slanting tiles को. So this is it. This is all about your building tiles and bricks. So for any queries, you may contact me or refer these books and websites also for any type of doubts in it. So you can also contact me by my email ID. Hope you understand and acknowledge this video also.